everybody, it is Billy Man, and we are gonna do something cool today. I've done this before, but I think I've perfected it, and I'm gonna try something I haven't tried before. And so yeah, let's get into it. This is gonna be the carrot jalapeno mix that you see at some of the Mexican restaurants. It's one of my favorite snacks. I like it for a couple reasons. One is it's cheap to make, it makes a lot, and it lasts for a long time because we're using vinegar, and vinegar kind of preserves things. So you can store it for like a month and it's still good. Okay, so let's get into it. I'll go over the ingredients real quick if you want to do this. I used to cut these, but you might as well just go down. These are so cheap right here that you might as well just go down and get the chips already cut. It just saves you a lot of time, and they're really good. Yeah, so there's that. You need a couple bottles of water. And the thing I'm doing different this round that I haven't done before is I'm gonna try using the apple cider vinegar instead of straight vinegar. Now, you have to have vinegar I use it probably like a 50-50 with water, maybe 60-40 with 60% this with 40% water. But you gotta have the vinegar to pull this off to give it that taste. Let's see here. This is super important. You gotta have this, the oregano. That's super important. They have a Mexican version of this, Mexican oregano. I don't know what the difference is, but you're gonna need oregano for sure. This is something that I add to it that I think it's like one of the things that makes it like really good, and that is ground cinnamon. I'm gonna add that to it. I like black pepper, so I'm gonna put in a little black pepper, and I'm gonna throw in just a tick of garlic salt, just to salten it up a little bit. Okay, and over here, we have, man, look how nice these jalapenos are. Aren't those big, dude? Whoa. So we got those, and then I'm gonna show you how you have an option to make this more spicy or not, aside from just adding more jalapenos, and then of course, I think it's a sweet onion, I think it is. Okay, so let's get into it. I got this filled up about halfway. I'm gonna dump the carrots in, and then pour the rest of the water where needed, and then we'll get into the jalapenos. Now, as far as the water, I'm just gonna use bottled water. Not that I don't trust our tap water. We actually have clean tap water where I live, but I'm just gonna use bottled water just because I think it's easier to do when I got them sitting here. Now, there is no science on how much you need to put in here, but I will tell you that you're gonna definitely wanna, don't be greedy with the oregano. It needs to, I'm telling you, it tastes, if you don't have enough in there, it tastes flat. On the cinnamon, this is the sweetener kind of. So, it depends how much you want to, sweeten it. I wouldn't get too crazy with this. You can always add it later. And then on the garlic salt, or the garlic salt with parsley, you just want to do barely any. You don't want to get crazy on this. I wouldn't do more than that, because you don't want it to have a garlic taste at all. I mean, you want it to have more of a sweet taste to it. And then on the black pepper, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit in there. I can't do it with one hand, so it's the ground kind, but I'll show you here in a second. Okay, there you go. I like the ground pepper too because it's kind of got a little bit of texture to it. It's a little bit thicker. So there's that. So that's all of our ingredients right there. Let me get a spoon here. I should have done this before. Let's get a spoon and kind of mix this all together. I don't have the heat on yet. I probably could actually, but I don't have it on yet. I kind of use the, like you can see like the amount of oregano when you start mixing it up. And so there's like a ratio that I know what it looks like, once you kind of get everything cooking and stuff. And once you start boiling it too, it really moves that oregano around too. It'll sink, like right now it has a tendency to float, but when you cook it, it has a tendency to sink a little bit. So, something like that will be a good start. Okay, so there is a couple ways to do this, and you can definitely make it more spicy or not spicy. The traditional way is just to cut it like this, right? Just cut it horizontally, no big deal. But when you do it like this, these seeds right here are what make it hot. That really increases the heat on the jalapeno. I know some people say, well, that's not hot at all, but I'm just telling you, it gets more spicy the more of those seeds are in there. So you have an option to knock the seeds out, which is one option you can see as we get in here. Now, for some people that want it more spicy, you can actually take a jalapeno and then that you're not gonna use the shell, but scoop out the seeds and throw more seeds in there. I know it sounds crazy, but you can do that. Now, another option too is to cut these horizontally, right? Kind of like you would do a popper. And then if you want to tame it down a little bit so it's not so like spicy, you can take the insides out, you know what I mean? Kind of like you would do a popper, right? Where the seeds all come out and then you just have the shell, right? Like this. I'm almost there. Almost there. Okay, so we got most of the seeds out. Let's cut this end off. We don't need that. So we have this right here, right? And then at this point, you can either make long strips. You know, you can either do this number to it. You know, just, you can throw some of these in there. That's gonna be less spicy, or you can do the more spicy version that has the seeds in, right? So I think I'm gonna do, I kind of like the spicier part of it. So I think I probably will do the, I'll probably do a little half and half, but I usually just do it horizontal. But those are two options. Okay, now we're moving on to the sweet onion part. And this is kind of a preference thing. I never use the full onion. I probably use half the onion. I guess if you do like onions, you'd add more. It does get, the onion taste gets overridden by the jalapenos. And, but very simple. Just knock the rings out of it like this. You can see it kind of breaks apart in rings. And then I split these up. And then, like I said, I'll probably use half an onion. If you're super into onions or you don't want to waste anything, by all means, go ahead and dump the whole thing in there. But yeah, and this adds just a nice little taste to it, nice little texture to it. But like I said, you'll notice that once these get in there, they taste a heck of a lot like jalapenos, man. That's no joke. You know, it's funny because my daughter really likes onions. So a lot of times she'll go through and pick out all the onions out of it. And so as it sits here. So like I said, it just depends on who's in your house and what they like. Sometimes you can add cauliflower to this too. I don't like cauliflower at all. That's just my preference. But there are times some people put a little bit, just a dab of cauliflower in there. One more jalapeno. So I think you would probably do 4 to 6, depending on the size. 6 is usually the ones I get, but these are really big. So yeah. And you can add other peppers in too. Like they have, like, you know, the red peppers and stuff like that, or the bell peppers. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to this, but this is just like the common, I know there's a name for it. I forgot what the name is. I've had people chime in and tell me what the exact name of this is. But, and you can buy it at the store. They have it pre-mixed, but like I said, it's always better when it's fresher. Okay, so I'm gonna mix everything together here. Man, it already smells good. It's definitely gonna make your house smell good if you like this. If you don't like it, you won't like the smell in your house, but it definitely makes your house smell like this jalapeno carrot concoction. And you'll notice too, as we go on, that these seeds will break apart from the jalapenos and those will get darker. And yeah, we're just gonna try to mix everything together. Man, don't that look good? This tastes really good too, man. If you're gonna have like, you can serve this with like rice and beans or whatever. It's just an awesome snack to have in your fridge. Like I do it all the time. It also makes it too, like when you're hungry, you take a few of these, man, and then all of a sudden you're not hungry. So it's actually a good way to kind of, you know, cure hunger without plowing a bunch of food. And I think everything in here is good for you. Maybe not the garlic salt. I don't even know. I guess the garlic salt, if you had to, you know, pick one thing. But overall, man, I think everything in here is like really good for you. So, okay. Let's let that simmer for a while. We'll bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna let it sit. After it boils, we'll probably let it sit for like a half hour. And because the longer you let it sit, the less crunchy the vegetables become. So I like them less crunchier. So I'm gonna let it sit for a while. I'm hoping that apple vinegar checks out, man. I've never done the apple vinegar, so we're gonna find out. Well, here it is, the finished product. It makes about this much if you follow what we did. They have these containers down at Albertsons. They're about $7-8. They're really cool because you can lock them. And when you lock them, it puts a little bit of suction on them. So, you know, it keeps them a little fresher. But you just fill it. You don't have to use all of the juice. I kind of like it in there. But this will, like I said, the one thing I love about this is that this will hold for at least a month, maybe a couple, because that vinegar is a hardcore preservative. And if you were putting it in mason jars, if you put it in boiling and you poured it right in the jars and sealed it up, I think you could just store it in your closet, man. I mean, or somewhere. You know, I don't even think you'd have to refrigerate it, but I'm gonna refrigerate this. Anyway, a great snack, and we wrapped it up with the apple cider vinegar, and yeah, there you go, man. Mexican carrots with a twist.